Hey everyone, David here, and this is the second episode of the Cruciform Build, which I've actually found out used to be the real Cruciform building. It was sort of a hospital, used to be a hospital, and is only until recently was a medical research. Swanky. So I've been fiddling a little bit on and off because there's just absolutely something wrong. And this morning I figured it out. I've got my heights wrong. So in the real cruciform, this level here is actually here. So it's this height. So when you're this part is one block higher than it is. And this is not actually equal. The big cross part, this cross part is actually on a different level to the flat bit here. So that's one up. And this level is here, is at street level. So that's like 2 blocks out of place. So there's actually an entrance way here. So a door will be here, which means windows would be here. Can you start to see why I'm just a little bit annoyed? Got my scale all wrong. So that one has to be down, I think it's 2 blocks. This one has to be up to 1 block. And this one actually needs another step, but this whole block here that I spent like 3 days on trying to get right has to move up at least 1 block, because this line here, at least on the pictures on Google Maps and the pictures I've seen, this line here is halfway through this window. So if I'm going to keep it to as close to real scale as possible, but also usable in the game as a building, which is a bit of a scale that you have to squint to get to be right, I have to redo everything other than the outline. So to say I am annoyed is somewhat of an understatement. I am beyond annoyed. I am just like, yep, this is Murphy's Law. The one building that is guaranteed to be the hardest just by its very nature also has to be the hardest because they get the scale all wrong. So the biggest problem is that in order to get all the scales right and stuff without tearing it down 1 block at a time and then putting it back up again 1 block at a time, I'm going to have to use cheats. I usually use the clone code when things like this are problematic. For this, my owl building, I will use a clone code, which will take a lot of fiddling, because what I have to do is clone is supposed to be used to kind of clone something. So you take a copy of that and move it over there. It isn't to sort of move it 1 or 2 blocks higher, so I have to move the whole thing over there and then move the whole thing back at the right height, which is going to be I don't like using the clone function because it's a pain. It's a total pain, and I always get it wrong, and everything gets to just chaos. Absolute chaos. And then I eventually get it, and it's okay. So, the goal of this episode is to actually get back to this stage, at a minimum, back to this stage, as in the basic shapes have been outlined, and I've been experimenting with color shifts because the actual real building is just all brick, and that's really boring in Minecraft. And putting in where the floors are probably going to be, that's obviously all wrong in here, but I went through, I have the replay, the montage video filming to show you that I actually did do all this by hand. Not that I have to prove that, obviously. So yeah, the goal of this episode is to at least get back to this stage, but with everything at its right height. I may not be able to do all of it on montage mode because it's not going to be interesting to watch. This will probably just kind of blink and be over there, and then blink and be back here with a bit of it probably still left over from the original. It's not going to be interesting to watch. It's not going to build itself up from scratch like I had intended. But it's been a long month and I got glutened, so I'm not feeling very hot and can't really do anything else. So I'm going to give it a go. As I said, the montage, which I shall cue very soon, will probably not be in order. I'll probably have quite a lot of cuts. So I apologize in advance if it's messy and not very entertaining to watch. But I will try and keep it to a minimum, at least the boring bits. I love it when you kind of see it be built up, like up and up and up and up and up, and then boom, it's gone. I want to do that. That was the plan. I almost hit that building. So I also have the other obvious problem of figuring out how to make this not look quite so much like an owl. I've been fiddling with an idea for the window shift, which is kind of cool. I like the shape of it, but it doesn't look like what it looks like in real life, not to mention diorite. Don't really like diorite, but there isn't much you can get a wall block, steps and slabs in, so we'll just see what happens. Anyway, cue the music and wish me luck, because this is going to be hard. welcome back. This is the mid-tro, as I like to call it. Now, in the process of doing all of the bits and pieces, as you can see, I've done a lot. I tried to do this stairwell. It took 2 days to figure out that, well, it's very difficult to make a stairwell to scale when the stairs are actually really steep in real life. And this actually should be sort of diagonal like the building. And it doesn't work. I don't know if you know this, but stair blocks do not work in diagonal in Minecraft. But that's okay. In the process of it, I kept trying to film it so that you could see the process, but I kept like doing it and deleting it and redoing it and deleting it and redoing it, and there was just no order to it. So I figured, well, it's just a stairwell. It's just a stairwell. It's a 4 or 5 story stairwell, but it's just a stairwell. It's okay to miss out the process. And that is why the second montage has the stairs already done in them. So, right, cue the music. All right. Now that was a heck of a lot of work, like days and days and days of work, which is why there were sections of that montage that were a little fast, and fast is good. But I managed to get the floor lines in the right places. Entrance level is at street, and that's at the right height as well. And the top layer still goes across there. So I think it did pretty well. The stairs, as I said in the mid-tro, took quite a while to get working. They should actually be perpendicular to the side of the building, so go this way instead of this way to be accurate. But you can't make stairs in that direction. And that looks okay. If you get a picture of the cruciform, it's relatively close enough. I've been fiddling with different colours for the copper. As you can see, there's the brand new copper and the partially corroded copper and the more corroded copper and the completely corroded on the top. Haven't decided on what colour is best, although the partially seems to match quite nicely. So there's a lot of work still to be done, including the fine details of things and like the rest of the building, because that's the only section that's actually close to having the right details. The rest of it's just a big hallway with very tall walls. And that will be in the next video. This is a very big project. I did, however, notice that I might have done one thing that I'm not going to fix. If you go here, I originally wanted to do the building because of the view from the top of the steps on the quad. It's not in the middle. If you stand in the middle of the quad, and Google Maps anyway, if you stand here, you can see this owl building is not squint with those lines, it's actually in the middle. And that was because I realized that, well, the whole building, this whole X part, is actually squint to the owl building. It's not a straight line, the connective building. Obviously they must have built it in phases, in different stages or something, because it's not. I lined up that line with this surface, which I assumed was parallel to the owl building, but it's not in real life. And then I of course did the owl building squint to the X part without realizing that it changes the view from the top of the steps. But I don't know if you can tell from this perspective, but it's too big to move. I'm not going to move it. It's only squint by like 4, yeah, maybe 5 blocks. So it's just going to be squint. It's okay. So the next video, I'm gonna try and make the details more specific, decide what I'm going to do with the white bits, all the fine detail. I've decided, even though I don't like diorite, I like how this window looks. It's much more nicely shaped than this box. So even though I don't like diorite and I don't like the speckled sort of pattern, it's still white. And I like that combination of slabs and wall. Actually, I think it's just stairs and walls. Yeah. So I want to use that. So that'll go around, and then I'll put the other windows in, and then. So the last video will be all the fine detail. It will probably be a very long process, but that's okay. A good build takes a while. The roof is still problematic, but I'm getting there. I'm going to do a lot more research. That may take more time actually than the detail. Once I've figured out the fine detail, which I've done here, it should be easy to replicate on all sides. Each of these, the first level stuff, see this bit here, it's half underground, seemingly. It goes the whole way around the building. Obviously I haven't put it in yet in the other areas. But each side in real life does different things. And other than the back one, where there's actually like a courtyard in here, where there's a parking lot and you can do deliveries and stuff, I'm actually not going to go into too much detail and make it a perfect replica. Because honestly, it doesn't need to be. What I want is a building that looks amazing that I can use as an actual building. It's too hard. There's too much detail to do absolutely every single side the same way, the way it is in real life, rather than just a mirror. If there are some very big details, like I believe one of the sides doesn't have the stairwells and stuff like that, I will maybe change it to suit. I believe this door isn't level with the street. You have to go up one step. Those sorts of things I can fiddle with. But for the most part, I'm just gonna settle on a plan and then replicate it the whole way around. Now, as you might have noticed, Minecraft looks a little prettier in this outro. And it's called shaders, which I installed for something else. But I love how this looks, and I can actually play at a medium level shader without any lag, which is pretty darn awesome. I love it. So from now on, most of my videos, or these videos, may end up being in shaders unless it's very difficult. There's a little bit of technical complications when I'm trying to do the montage recording, but we'll see what happens. And the reason why I have the shaders is firstly because it's cool. I'm quite enjoying looking at a prettier Minecraft, but I'm actually in the process of trying to make some short films in Minecraft, and I need the lighting. At the very least, I need lighting to form different moods, different lighting, different angles, you can't really do movies without decent lighting shifts. to add to the mood. So if you're interested in the possibility of making short films in Minecraft, go and look at my other movies, my other videos. I'm hoping to build up to doing movies, but right now I'm looking at sort of 10-minute stories. The second one, should be posted within a week or two, depending on technical issues. Anyway, this has been a labour of love, and will probably continue to be a labour of love, but it's looking really good. I quite like it. At dusk, it looks amazing when you put lights in the right places. It's just awesome. So I'm going to enjoy when this is done, walking around and looking at it. But for now, ara ni tasa.